Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, hey, did you notice? Sorry, I'm just reading the play-by-post.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to get any of the episodes up. But I'll probably get it up today, hopefully. Because tomorrow is quite busy. Did I lose you?
No, still here. I'm just used to going on to mute when I'm not speaking, and I forgot it's just us two, so I don't have to do that. Sorry.
The owner, he's crazy.
Just checking something real quick. Alright. Well, I got my character sheet up.
Nice. Did it require chemical assistance, or was this a natural happenstance?
What, finding my character sheet?
No, I was specifically joking about you getting your character sheet up. As in,
I don't know, like, that's, I'm trying to wonder, like, how would that work with you?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, they make such products for women as well. Because,
Somebody was telling me about that.
Originally it was just heart medicine.
Oh, yeah. It was an accidental side effect?
Yep.
Now there's this whole big debate about male birth control. Like, the men are not wanting to take it because it makes them nauseous. But then they gave like a whole list of the side effects that women's birth control gives them, including up to embolisms and death, and it's still like, well, fuck it, you're the one that don't want to be pregnant.
Well, we're moving into a post-sexual world when it comes to procreation and all that anyway, so it is what it is.
Yeah, people are like, fuck it. I don't need that. I mean, granted, living flesh is definitely much better than a toy, but I get it. Sometimes I'm just like, look, I just want to get off, roll over, and go to sleep. I don't want to have to talk to your ass afterwards. No complaints about not lasting long enough, none of that shit.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't know, however, I feel like if I was given a choice between like a toy and a guy, I'd
have the toy? I mean, the guy watching?
Have the toy, but I don't know. It's just that I don't, like, it depends on the guy. Like, what kind of guy is this I'm choosing between? Because if it's somebody that I'd actually be okay with having sex with, then I'm gonna choose the guy every time. But because like it's like Last Man on Earth, and it was like Trump or like a Bush or even like maybe Jack Black or whatever, I'd be like, nah, good, I'm good. Toys it is. Toys it is. in blindfolds, earplugs, full latex bodysuits in the world for that type of shit. But no. Well, I'm ready whenever you are. I don't know how long you have. I'm obviously free all day, so.
Okay. Well, let's first off, again, thank you for helping make this possible, both here in Chicago and in Gary. This is, without much further ado, this is In the Shadow of the White City, a Concordia white centric makeup. It is a follow-up and alternative happenings during the time of Despairing the Hate of the Blind. So this episode will be The Blind Despairing of Hate. When we last left our coterie, the fire had consumed the room. The stench and smell of burning tapestries and furniture is one that's distinctive. The scent of fire has its own spirit, if you will, and even more so in a place, no matter how often it is clean, but a place where various fluid secretions and emotions sink into the fabrics, into the carpets, into the walls. It helps over the last few episodes of previous episodes, we've talked a little bit about room sounds and how each room has its own feeling, its own aura, and own sound that is persistent even when the beings in it are silent. So in the Pisketeers, each room does have a sound, but it also has a presence and a scent, and fire brings the essence of that curled to the nose. So most of the coterie decided to sleep at the Rosie, which is across the reservoir, to both escape that and give Dia time, because their depressive state, their collapse of will, they're unwilling to put on a facade or front or bolster themselves, is very much watching the king or the queen drop their crown. It very much is the Colossus of Rhodes falling. It very much is a shattering of their faith in what could be. And while most don't do much more than pay some lip service to it, and it's only superficially aware for the bulk of the coterie, you all are bound in blood. Your feelings and emotions rocket and race through the group back to one another, doubling and redoubling as it passes, as each touch intensifies that emotion. And as the head, the heart, if you will, of the coterie, Dia's emotions hit like a megaton nuke. And so some time and distance is needed. Rousing for the evening, the previous destruction and dilemma, the terror and chaos that has infested and infected the Pisketeers, the loss of many trusted associates and many more who still hold places in Dia's unbeating heart, weigh heavily. Would you be so kind as to go ahead and make your rouse roll?
Yep, that seems about right. Starting the night out lovely.
So thoughts of now settling into place. The beast chooses this moment to make itself known. What is that place your hunger at?
That's just 2. She's been pretty good about keeping it okay, but after that whole debacle with the bottle, not quenching her thirst, and then never actually getting to feed. Yeah, she's at a 2.
So she managed to feed between her having roused hunger and now. So the beast doesn't come kicking down the door, it merely scratches at it and really lets her know that it is present, and its constant syncopated susurrus whisper in her ear grows a small bit louder. Not that she immediately notices or cares, because rousing in the Biscuiteers, rousing in the last place where her sire existed, rousing in a place that was a testament to the power of the Toreador in Dalton. It carries its own weight, its own sense of responsibility. While the room is ruined, and there's still the subtle hint of smoke wafting through the building, subtle hint of burned and charred things. There are the girls present. There are your staff present. There are still things that need your attention, and most glaringly and most importantly, the thing that needs your attention most is you. But will you exercise that need? Will you tend to what's most pressing for Concordia?
She's a little bit on autopilot right now. Normally, her thing would be, of course, getting up, showering, even though she doesn't need to. It's just a habit, or wash. But even if she doesn't full shower, it's a cleaning of themselves and hair brushing and primping, because that is their ritual in the morning, and it gets them in the right kind of headspace. And depending on how long they have to deal with things, or how long or how pressing things are, depends on how long that all takes. She tries to keep it like under an hour normally, and sometimes has had to do it in like 15 minutes, but the most part they take as much time as they usually want to. Today it's just autopilot. She's going through the closet, but not looking at the clothes, and hair brushing is just very like no effort really put into it, no heart put into it. It's just brushing because it's something they do. And when they step out of their room, the first thing is to check if the girls are okay, because that is a major importance to this whole situation. They already have one major. She's expecting the decibel thing to have backlash, and we can't have Castigliones after her either. So she's gonna check on the girls first, and then once, depending on that, how that goes, she's gonna go looking for Calabalarshi, because she knows Zach said that they were gonna be gone for 4 hours, but inevitably they would have to come back here because this is where they're supposedly safe, quote unquote, and she needs some answers.
The girls are surprisingly well appointed. They've made themselves relatively at home. It is the best kidnapping that has ever been in existence. They are helping with the staff cleaning the tables, hanging pictures, re-straightening things downstairs, and making themselves a member of the team. They clearly have a work ethic that is, well, not standard. It seems as if they are accustomed to helping or doing, because even in their being kept, there's a willingness to better their environment There's a willingness to put sweat, blood, and tears behind wherever, whenever they are. And while it is most assuredly not part of their conscious understanding that they are in fact kidnapped and ransomed, it very much is part of their being to make the place a little better or help as much as they possibly can. And they're downstairs helping move tables, hang pictures, wipe things down, make sure that drinks are stocked, making sure that certain carts are filled with the right amount of things. And as you stand on the stairwell, looking down into the space of the actual Pisketeers, not the sports bar, dive, neighborhood bar that most people believe that it is, it's hard not to appreciate and lose a little focus as to what they actually are. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it in your mind. You, having lived through the jazz era, through the beatnik era, through the olden days, know that they are in fact kidnapped, that they are in fact ransomed and held by you. Yet their willingness to do and willingness to be, it's hard to see it as anything more than an extended sleepover.
And that's slightly a dangerous thought for her because she doesn't want to get used to them being here. She doesn't want to get attached to them at all because what happens is the thing she gets attached to. And there's that fear that kind of creeps into her stomach a little bit of, they're not little sisters, they're not things for you to love or fall in love with or want to keep, because if you care at all about them, something will take them away.
So what does that say about your coterie, who are now several hundred yards away from the Pisketeers? At least. And God forbid if they've gone out hunting, they may be even further. What does that say about your coterie? It's interesting. You didn't and don't consciously love them, but there's a part of you that cannot continue existing without them. Even now, you know that Seth is coldly dealing with some issue. Even now, you know that Frost is absently, passionately doing much of nothing. Even now, you can feel the effect and care Muzan has for Zach. Even now, you can feel Zach beginning to find a reason to believe. You can feel their emotions as far away as they are now. So if everything you care about, everything that matters to you, is destroyed, what does that say about the eventuality of them? You've never felt Geneva's emotion so succinctly. You've never felt Nicole's emotion so thoroughly. You never got an opportunity to spend hours understanding the thought processes of Lothair. Yet you cared for them, and they're non-existent. What is the difference between them and your coterie? Just so kind of to go ahead and roll your intelligence plus insight.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Six, okay.
There's some thoughts that are just too dangerous to fully hold within oneself. There's some thoughts that are just too dangerous because they give the most depressing of all weapons and shields. They just are overwhelmingly prohibitive. And that thought hits Dia hard enough that she has to hold on to the railing. The difference between every instance of her care and consideration and her coterie, she's an active participant. she is there with them and taking nearly every moment she can, by choice, by responsibility, and by presence. Unlike her time with Nicole, flitting and flouting and floating from gig to gig, from place to place, from moment to moment, with Nicole in the wings of her life. Unlike with her separation and care for Jennifer, she, even during the midst of their full hot and heavy, maintained her distance and continued to float and surf through her existence. And unlike Lothair, whose home and haven was God knows where in the suburbs of God knows where, her coterie is present and active in her existence on a nightly basis. The only difference between her coterie and all those other individuals that she has loved and cared for, time and distance. She doesn't float through their lives. She is the pillar of their existence. She is the rock upon which they have built themselves an existence here in Dalton. Hell, up until last night, this was their home. They havened here. They slept in the tunnels or in the suites or in the rooms. They each have changings of clothing present here. They each reside here. So every night, unless something untoward happens, they are the first and last things that she sees. And it's such a dangerous thing. Because if one were to extrapolate, follow that logically through, it meant that she could have saved Lothair, she could have saved Jennifer, she could have saved Nicole by simply being ever present in their existence and having them be ever present in hers.
Daggone it. You didn't hear any of that, did you?
No, I did not.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. It disconnected on me and I didn't notice, and I had been talking this whole time.
Discord is transpiring against us, transgressing against us in this case.
Anyway, so basically what I said and what you missed was that Dia is going to hold on to the fact that that's the difference, but she's not going to let it give her hope yet. That would make a difference. But she's also noticing, like you pointed out, the Muzan situation, or the Muzan's feelings, and kind of like, because Toreadors love tea and intrigue. It's like that little hole you find in your teeth and you're poking at it, like, what's that? So she's thinking about that part way on one side of her head, but then her main brain, or the main focus, is heading down the stairs and putting on that the leader is here, you know, everything is fine because I have graced you with my presence sort of situation. Attempting to fake it till she makes it, basically. But still, yeah, they're in her head. They're very much in her head. And she is feeling curious about what it could mean that they've survived so long because of her being present instead of just coming through. But it tracks because she's thinking about the fact that when she first joined the coterie, or she first went on that mission, she wasn't attached to any of them. She could care less. one way or the other about any of those people, and they all either ended up dead or disappeared. So it tracks. It makes sense.
When entering the Pisketeers, several thoughts playing in the back and fore of her mind. She is surprised that there's already a guest. This is a little early in the evening for the Fellowship of Fun that she considers those who have access to the Pisketeers, because she still has not updated the member list or the roles for any of the members of the actual Pisketeers. She hasn't had the opportunity or the time or the inclination, because each member, each state representative, each celebrity, each police commissioner from the outlying suburbs is a remnant and a reminder of Nicole. They're part of the network of people and associates that Nicole has made home and shared hospitality with. They are going back several generations, friends of friends of friends, and an ascended family that remind Dia of Nicole. All the efforts that she's put into making connections, being the place where people come to talk and otherwise engage in their vices. A safe, secure location for them. But it's still a little early. Most of the other bars are still in full swing, full after work swing. Most of the other clubs in the area are beginning to take on water, take on the flow of their night, whatever that might be. Some places busier than others. But it is with no small sense of pride that Dia understands that between the Pisketeers and the Rosie across the reservoir, that this is becoming the center of Dalton's entertainment district. The Adonis without Geneva, the closing, shuttering, demolishing of the Queen of Spades due to whatever happened there with the Bahari and the Chicago Kindred. With those places missing, Dia is becoming the captain of entertainment for Dalton. This, her little space, her little domain that she still hasn't worked out the full boundaries of nor set into place any security for, is becoming the entertainment center of Thornton Township. It's becoming the entertainment center of Dalton. It is, well, it's hard for people to not see the consistency and longevity of the place as something that provides that safety and security. Both its public persona as the dive end of workday bar, and those who know that it is in fact a place to indulge in all of one's individual fetishes in a safe, secure place. With the Rosie across the reservoir, now you have a full-fledged music entertainment venue that is and could be easily competitive if they were not part of the same coterie, if they were not part of the same business group, if they were not part of the same blood. So it's still a little early for individuals to be in this portion of the Pisketeers, to have found their way here, yet there he stands, his suede dark blue jacket and vanilla cream pants, his striped polo, and his smile. There's something familiar about the smile, though you've never seen that face before. And as you enter, and he predatorily watches everything moving about him, turns to Dia and smiles. And that smile says so much. And it's impossible because you've never met him before. You don't know who this gentleman is. Just a handsome nobody.
Welcome to Pisketeers. You're our first guest for the evening, it seems. Can I get you anything?
Oh, you know, I like being early. And don't worry, Dia, it's me.
Me?
Dan.
Oh. Really?
Well, I didn't want to scare your workers, and I thought that you all got up and moving fairly early. I know Muzan is probably already hunting up something for dinner.
Actually, I don't quite know what they are doing at the moment. Everybody, after what happened last night, slept at the Rosie. I stayed here.
And so you're fumigating and getting rid of ghosts. That's the reason for all the incense in the air.
Actually, unfortunate. Come talk with me. I don't want to worry the workers, as it were. And she heads back towards the private booth area.
You're a bankhead behind the mirror, or just one of the...
Yeah, the bankhead behind the mirror.
Okay. So as you all head to the openly non-secret looky-loo position where you can watch the entirety of the downstairs bar move and operate while not being seen yourself. Because from outside of the space, it looks like it's just a wall of mirrors at the back of the bar. Which it is, but there are two ways, so you guys have the opportunity to watch and view without ever actually being seen. It's quite lewd and quite titillating. The moment you all enter in, he doesn't bother. He dispenses with the mask because he trusts, or seemingly trusts, Dia's privacy. And as it falls away, it is, without a shadow of a doubt, a difference between night and day. The bland, handsome, no one to who Dan actually is. And while he still dresses very, very classically stylish, and while the blazer still is dark suede blue, and the polo and the pants and all of that, there's just, let's just be perfectly honest, he's a ruined thing to look upon. But he has such style and savoir-faire.
She flinches before she can catch herself, but then it's apologies. Sorry, it's been a long evening. 2 days. Okay, I want to give you a bit of a heads up. I have seemingly made a bit of an enemy of Decibel.
Well, that's
so I'm waiting for whatever fallout that Seth said I did the right thing, but I don't know where his head is right now, and I don't know if I can trust his judgment as to whether that was the right thing or not. I just felt like I couldn't allow him. You wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Why not?
Because he's a fucking Towerite. He's a fucking Camarilla.
That's a dirty word around here.
It is, but he is what he is, and you know, and no muss, no fuss, but that's where he's viewing everything from. So you gotta know where you're looking from, not only what you're looking at. It's like a fucking a diamond. You know how every side has a different face, and it's all about the clarity and all that crap. Well, he's looking at it from a particular angle.
He is quite stuck on certain things, it seems. You're right in that he is very much looking at things from one particular angle, and I don't quite know if that particular angle is the angle I need to be taking and things, but it is what it is. I said what I said to Decibel, and he left, and now I am fully expecting the wrath of dragons to land upon the Pescateurs. I don't know what else to say to that except for I will give as good as I get, I suppose, or as attempt to, at least. I didn't want to make an enemy of him, I really didn't.
Sure you did.
But he was asking something of me that
you didn't want to give. Not that you couldn't give, but you just didn't want to give, and that's fine. It's far be it from me to tell you anything, but I should be perfectly honest. It don't make no sense to be dead and worried about the living. If you get my drift.
Oh.
Well, let's just call it what it is. How best to say this without hurting your feelings?
Just say it, Dan. I have...
Either you're gonna fuck or you're gonna get fucked. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no teasing, toying, playing around the edges. You either shit or get off the pot. You're the boss. You're the leader. Then be the boss and be the leader. If that's a ball, the guy who's kicked ass all across Europe for God knows how many decades, generations, years, sees you as a threat, sees your people as a threat enough that he has to act, you maybe need to start doing the same, seeing yourself as a threat and fucking act. Because all this pussyfooting around is just gonna get you fucked worse. So either shit or get off the pot. Either bend over and take it, or bend someone over and take it from them. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Like I don't know what you would like. Muzan is fucking great. He even doesn't mind me tricking him into being the leader of the Nosferatu because I don't want to put up with that shit.
That was still quite the story. Oh my. Well, the thing is,
I'm listening.
I guess, yes. Go on. She just kind of looks at him curiously.
No, I'm just listening. I'm just saying, like, no lie. If everybody else thinks you're a threat and you walking around like this, what does that really say about everybody else's faith in you?
Their sorely misplaced faith in me.
Well, just up to you to make it that way.
What I don't understand is why everybody assumes I'm a threat when I am everything but. Everything that has happened up until this point has been other people's doing, or me attempting to fix other people's doing. I would never have wanted Lothair's death. But it seems that people assume that I did that on purpose.
You sure about that?
I am very, very sure that I would not want his death.
I see. So you just happen to fall into that.
We went in thinking it was one thing, and we were ambushed. Something else. And did what we could to survive. And in doing so, we killed another baron, and Lothair didn't make it out. He sacrificed himself for me. Why? I have no fucking clue. I guess maybe he believed in me. Foolish man, that.
Yeah, you say that. But, if he believed in you, Your crew believes in you. Seems like you're the only one that don't believe in you. Hell. You said that Dusty Ball is treating you a certain way, and he considers you a threat. And your crew, they're willing to ride or die with you. Because I know Muzan doesn't enjoy most people. Like, just be perfectly honest. The guy doesn't like kindred of any fail flavor. Let's just be perfectly honest. Yet, you guys turned the lion into a house cat.
I will never tell him you said that, mind you. You would have quite the fight on your hands, I think.
No, because I know how to run. I know how to fucking disappear. You guys are the only ones foolish enough to do that whole stand-up fight. Put them up. Screw that. I'm out.
Okay, then. How do I be a threat? Then I don't know, honestly.
Well, you got a bunch of...
Better being a spy.
Really? So what have you spied on? From Dusty Ball?
There's something he wants. He couldn't actively go after it himself. He was trying to send me to do so. So that leads me to believe that should he be caught at it himself, it would cause a problem for him. Maybe. I should go to the source.
And what source is that?
Person who owns the item or currently holds the item that he wanted. But there's also the fact that even though we didn't get along because of misunderstanding. One man who might actually stand a chance against Decibel, I don't know, is he still missing? Or has he returned? Has he left his people? He would be helpful right now.
And who was that? You already got Muzan in your pocket. You got the Nosferatu. Not that there's many of us living and breathing, existing as it were, but you got us.
The Gangrel Lord.
Didn't you just kill his guy?
I know. And he already thinks I killed somebody else that was important to him too, so I guess that would not actually be smart. This is why I'm not good at war. I don't know who's my friend and who's my actual enemy and who would stab me in the back and who would actually help me.
Everybody will stab you in the back. You gotta know that. Everybody's got their price. You gotta figure out what that price is so that you can beat it. You can buy them out before they get a chance to get there. As if the people left at my borders, that might be somewhat of a buffer between me and Decibel. Who's left? What do you mean, who's left? You mean...
She's trying to picture the map in her head as to the territories and the domains and who's left alive. That might be somebody she can turn to.
Are you on your desktop or your laptop?
Desktop.
Okay, there you go. Just save you a little time and just give you the link to the map.
That's fine. Okay. Take a quick peek. That's interesting. Okay. Oh yeah, we're boxed in. I'm guessing the purple one or the red one's Decibel.
Not exactly. Decibel is considerably farther away. I'm not sure why that happened, but yeah, his face isn't denoted anymore.
Oh, Seferino. Okay, that's Seferino's. Got it. And this one is.
But from Sibley Boulevard. From Sibley Boulevard, if you look there on the map, all the way to Route 6, which is what road is that?
Okay, Naomi's.
Grand Army, Republic Highway. So from Sibley Boulevard south to 159th that's a Ball's territory. Just so that you're aware. And from Torrance
Okay, so
all the way over to Halsted.
okay, so Boo and Felix are on one edge. Genova was over here. So who's the yellow one? Okay. Yeah, because we got that long stretch of land and it's Sondings. Okay. So, like right abutting, we have Naomi. Seferino. We killed Faustina, which is why it would kind of stretch out more. There's nothing on the other side that I can tell. Okay. So it's just Naomi. Got it. Okay, that kind of helps out. thinking about it in her head, like looking at the map, like in that she has in her mind. I haven't talked to Naomi in a while.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe they would be helpful in this. But I don't know how they feel about decibels, so that would be something to find out. Did you come for a specific reason, Dan, or was you just popping by?
Well, I thought that, well, there's always a reason, but there's never a reason, if that makes sense.
It does, but okay.
I've maybe found out a thing or two that I probably shouldn't know, and I haven't decided on how best to utilize that information.
So are you asking for safety here, or you offering a chance for me to ask you about this information?
Well, you know, everything being what it is, and our date,
There is a price.
and our date not having been completed. You know, I didn't even get a warm handshake after it's all said and done. And I thought that we had a good time.
It did, but obviously, deceased sheriff was impatient.
Yeah, there is that.
For the first time in like maybe a week, there is the very slightest hint of a smile pulling at her lips, because she just can't not around him for some reason. It's just something about him that makes her smile.
You know, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Of course, he's not a guy, but you know.
Okay, so what would you like in exchange for this information that you're not supposed to know?
Well, see, that's just it. I'm not sure. Because normally it'd be a fair thing, an easy thing. But for you, with the promise that you won't do nothing too stupid until we have the opportunity to finish our date, that'll be a down payment enough, I suppose.
Agreed. I will not do anything stupid, as you put it, until we can finish our date.
Alright, so no one's supposed to know this, but Decibel killed View.
He what?
Yeah, they shared some information he probably didn't like, and View no longer amongst us.
Oh no.
And their territory will be annexed at the next township meeting, officially. Unofficially, it's already his. Felix is his puppet now.
Annexed. I assume he's not taking it well.
No one's seen him in a couple of days. They know he still exists because his church is still giving services and all of that. But yeah.
As much as I hated them motherfuckers, I can only imagine the hurt he's feeling right now. Are you thinking I should maybe reach out to them? Seeing as how now he has an obvious bone to pick with Decibel.
Hey, I don't get into politics because I can't keep up. There's too many moving parts, and I'm a simple, smooth-brained individual. I don't have enough wrinkles to make me a day old as far as that goes. My brain is like a tennis ball. It's nice and smooth.
Tennis balls are not actually smooth. They have little fuzzies on them. Have you never touched one?
I ain't exactly a Rockefeller, In my day, we didn't really play those sorts of things. There was a study done that the more blue collar you were, the bigger your balls, and the more management you were, the smaller your balls. There's a reason why CEOs and all that, they play golf. Your average person.
Bulls, I know. Oh my. I don't want to think about that right now. Oh, my. Okay. Allies. Yes, I need them. And they would definitely have reason to not side with Decibel. If I could get on their good side, I could be the threat. Look at me plotting. Yes, let's do this. Let's do this. And she stands, and again, for the first time in like 2 days, her shoulders are actually back. She's standing at her full height, and against all intelligence to the otherwise, she's actually hoping something works out, or that this is going to work out.
I mean, why wouldn't it?
Oh, they're walking into death trap. Whatever. Either way, not my problem anymore. But yeah, so she is going to lead Dan back out of the secret hidey hole area, and offer them like whatever they want from the bar for the evening, realizing though that going to see Felix hungry would not be the best bet, because one makes poor decisions when one is hungry. So they're going to coax one of their workers, call it quality control, whatever you want, and have a drink, taking herself back down to 1. Or attempt to. I don't know whether I'd still have to maybe roll for that.
Do you have heard?
I have siren as my feeling type. She is in her preferred domain. Let's see. How would that be?
Under your backgrounds.
Oh, I have eat food, influential, flaw spurned lover. We already knew where that. Hey, does that go away now that she's dead?
No.
I'm just gonna, because she's not there anymore. Shit is very funny. Yeah, no, I don't think we have the herd thing going on. Where's the herd? Yeah, no, I don't have heard, so I guess it would still maybe require a roll.
Typically, yes, but we're gonna forego that for the moment. So are you taking the dancer with you as you go tracing and gallivanting across the city to find Felix?
It's probably best for her to not go alone, but at the same time, yeah, she's gonna ask him to come along because witnesses and potential help. And if she's showing up with another person of recognition, I guess, even if it's a Nosferatu, it might help push things more in her favor.
Okay. We're gonna it's almost time for the little one to get home from school, so we're going to short change the roll a little bit here to account for an approximation of things. Does Dia have presence?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, she's at 3 in presence.
So she's quite the dangerous weapon that she never uses. So we're going to take that presence. We're going to take now is Dia attempting to be simply charismatic, or is she willing to, or is seeking to pull the wool over Felix's eyes?
No, she doesn't want to start this potential new relationship out on a bad foot. It's definitely I am coming to you because I understand we now have a similar enemy, and I would like to keep myself and people like me alive.
Okay.
Undead, whichever saying that. So yeah, it's definitely more of a olive branch and not a snake oil salesman's situation.
Okay, so that being the case, that would be her charisma. And now, is she attempting to make political connections, or is she trying to make this political hidden with the person?
Wait, what was that?
Is she trying to hide the political behind the personal, or is she solely attacking it because this is what's best for Dalton, this is what's best for them, this is what's best for our people, blah, 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 blah. You know, that political rhetoric.
It's mostly, she's going to come at it from the personal standpoint first, and then weave the political into the back door of it.
So Dia likes the back door. All right, so that's being the case, that being what it is. That's going to be her charisma plus her presence plus her persuasion.
Oh, that's a pretty good pool, actually. 1, 2, 3. Charisma is her highest attribute. 1, 2, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay.
Oh, charisma is her highest? Oh, I forgot to tell you, you get a minus 11 die.
Nah. Nah. I don't know, should I attempt to see if I get better than that, or?
That is your call. I cannot advise you on that regard.
Okay, by 1.
So.
Still good.
You missed it by 6.
Did I?
You missed your goal by 6. But no. In all due seriousness, well, in relative seriousness, over the course of a few hours, over the course of what for most would be a dinner meeting, you and Felix come to an understanding. You find out that there literally was an initial push for him and View to side with and support you. There was no disingenuous aspect to their questions. They were literally trying to find out in the most direct, simple manner as to what you had in mind. That was misconstrued, and you all have enemies amongst enemies amongst enemies, but that's the nature of the game. It is, after all, a game involving monsters. You find out that View and Felix had wagered a lot because of the pressure they're receiving from an organized criminal organization. And yes, I did say organized twice because they are both criminally minded as well as business minded. The Castigliones have made maneuvers against them and are attempting to horn in on their side business that they run, which is disposal of bodies. And they are also, and had been for quite a long time, one of the larger proponents of Geneva's leadership. So Decibel already saw them as an enemy. So they made deals and made backroom agreements to get some time alone to actually have the same conversation that you and Felix are having. Decibel used that time and maneuvered them into, well, it was death or complete slavery. And View decided to fight because he knew that was the only way to save Felix. And because of their lack of protection, with their warding and consecration having been destroyed and dismantled, they couldn't even retreat to their haven and keep Decibel out. So in the long, winding, roaming conversation, you manage to win Felix over to willing to support you with all that he can. Willing to share information so long as you share information as well.
So in return for the information that Felix gives Dia about what happened with you and why it happened, Dia will give Felix the information of what Decibel asked her to do that she refused, in causing Decibel to now target her. As a fair exchange and a act of good faith.
As you and Dan leave Felix's church, there's a very real unsettling feeling that you all are being watched as you all head back toward the Pisketeers. Not the sort of watched where there's just paparazzi taking pictures of anybody that might be famous, but as if you are being targeted. And there's no one there, but just because there's no one there doesn't mean that there's no one there.
Gia would definitely lean to Dan, and I know you can see things that aren't there. You feel that.
Yeah, I feel it every time I go near those two. Well, that one now. But yeah, it seems to be like when you come up for air from deep sea diving. Not that I've ever been deep sea diving, but that's what it feels like.
I think we need to get back to the Pisketeers quickly.
And with several connections made, with several ties of allyship formed, Dia and Dan make their way back to the Pisketeers. As they begin making their way back to the Pisketeers, several conversations happen between them and between the world at large. They manage to have an understanding as to some of the things that are happening in the world around them that they had not before. They realize that Decibel has a clear-cut plan already in place, and that he's moving towards some goal that should place him as absolute ruler and monarch of Thornton Township, if not abated. If no one stops his hand, he's moving slowly and directly towards maintaining and obtaining the true, real power of leadership in the area. It's going to come down to which side of the line you all are on and what you are willing to do. What you're willing to lose, what you're willing to sacrifice, what you are willing to wager. And with that thought in mind, we leave Dia and Dan moving into the Pisketeers just as the rest of the coterie arrive. Thank you so much.
In a hot mess.
Thank you so much. I will see you at our next play session.
Okay, see you soon.
Take care, bye.